afternoon, my friends, and welcome to another episode of Try Bonsai. It's your boy Vanna, and earlier I contemplated, I was back and forth in my mind about what I want to do today, and I have a very big Nerofolia that I would have acquired from from Evelyn and potted up, and I wanted to do some work on the roots, removing some of the bigger roots in favor of a more fibrous root system. And I also have this that you see in front of your face, this root over next to, by the side, around a rock type planting. And of course, as you can see, this won the deliberation, because it's not that I'm intimidated by the other plant. I just felt more of a pull to deal with this, as this could potentially be a quicker type situation for this afternoon, because it's already 4:29, and by the time it hits 6 o'clock, it's going to start to get dark, and we want to try and avoid the darkness now. What I'm going to do today, my friends, I'm going to defoliate the entire planting and remove the plastic, looking at how the roots are going. I'm not going to interfere with the roots at all. I'm not going to interfere with it, right? When it ain't broke, don't fix it. But I am going to defoliate and remove some branches that we don't want. Now, obviously, I'm seeing a couple things that in bad spots, but I would like to have a much better look at how it's going. Yeah, so let me just go. So first things first, my friends, I'm going to remove the leaves, and I could either clip them off, or, well, that was a failure. That's another failure. A lot of failures today, boy. Yeah, I was supposed to be able to do that with the leaves. You know, they're supposed to, you see, I'm getting them now, making them easy to take off. But because some of these branches are young, they're not coming off as easily as I would like them to. And I don't want to damage the branch or damage any potential leaf nodes that I may want to choose. So for the ones that I can't peel back, I'm going to use the trusty old scissors, and for the ones that I can, I'm going to do that. And in usual fashion, I don't need to talk through this entire thing. Enjoy some music, my friends. All right. I'm going to say, my friends, I'm so accustomed saying it. All right, my friends. So I've defoliated the treats in its entirety, and I even removed a couple branches that really and truly didn't make any sense. So what I'm going to do now, I am going to remove some little branches, little shoots that are in some abnormal places, and then we're going to come back and take a more comprehensive look at each one of these pads, looking at what we want to keep and what we want to get rid of. I have some stuff in some odd places that I could get rid of that might just need a little rubbing off. But I have some things that, like 2 branches coming out of one spot, and we're going to get to those shortly. let's get to work. We have these main branches coming out and they divide accordingly. However, some of the divisions, some of the shoots, not in places that we like. Take, for example, this shoot here. As I turn the camera so that you could see. So I'm going to take that off, rubbing this off. We also have another shoot inside here that I'm going to take off. Now, when you look at this particular shoot, there's just one main coming from this. There's another one, but it's growing in a very bad position. So I'm going to rub this off. And let's hope that we get something from this. Something more than just this end piece. Right? Apart from that, looking at these two, we have now, this is a particular species that has a lot of shoots coming from the same spot. However, the reverse taper is not as bad as other species of plants, right? But, you know, we don't want too much of those shoots coming from the same spot. So I have this very long branch coming from underneath, but I also have these two on the side here. Now, they're kinda underneath-ish, but they are in a much better position than this. So I can remove this, opting for this to develop and these two to develop. So I'm going to take this one off because he's pretty strong. And let's see how this develops. So we have these two here, we have this here, and I have this little one here, making up this area, basically. We go over to this side. I have this fella underneath here that I'm going to remove. I have some guys that happening in the back here. Right, some guys happening in the back here, so that I don't want. So I'm going to remove those. I have this happening here. And you see, I'm trying my best not to create clutter. And what we have happening, so I have this guy coming across here, which could provide some clutter. So I'm going to remove him, opening up space. Likewise, I'm going to remove this fellow. So creating a little bit of space between. And I have these three guys here. I'm going to remove one of them. And I think that I'm going to remove the guy that is standing straight up, because I would much prefer those shoots coming out. So not much work. This, I'm going to remove this. I said I was going to keep it before, but nah. So I opted for branches that are, as you can see, kind of flattening out and not sticking straight up. Now I have this fella here that I nearly miss. Ha ha! So I'm going to remove him. Right? And this nice guy, strong guy here. And looking at it from your view, we've cleaned up some items. And in the cleaning, should I remove this fellow and leave this fellow, or should I remove this fellow and leave this fellow? I'm going to think about this and come back to this. All right, let's move on to the next part, which is supposedly the back. So looking at it from the back coming forward, I have this fella sticking straight up here, this fella underneath here. These are in a crease. want to make sure that I clean these up pretty good. Then I have this branch coming out here. That gives me this strong shoot out here, but two branches sticking up. I don't want these fellas that's sticking up so much. So I opted to keep this fella out here. And as I come over to this branch, I have this guy coming here, but I have this standing straight up, and this also standing straight up. Opting for the sweeping branches rather than the straight branches. So I'm going to go around the tree. I'm going to go around the tree and do this piece of work, removing all the branches that's sticking straight up except for the apex. Where these parts are concerned, I would prefer that they have sweeping branches, and where the apex is concerned, we will work on that canopy. So we're going to go around, almost finish with this, and then when I get up here, we're going to do some choices. Yeah? Good stuff. So this is as far as I've reached with the pruning of the branches, and I realized that the camera wasn't picking up this, so I apologize for that. However, what I noticed while I was going along is that we have here a nice branch coming out here, sweeping, this coming up, this coming across, but we have this fella in the center here. So there's a decision to be made, and that decision is, do we remove this fellow here and leave this fellow, or do we remove this inner fellow here and leave this developing this this branch? That, my friends, is the choice to be made. Pretty tough choice, because both of them are in pretty nice positions with some good workable branches. Now this one here, the more mature branch, has a lot more character, and it allows for this to really and truly take the lead as the apex, letting this sweep and not sticking up, whereas this younger branch is coming up, although it's not very tall at all, but it's a bit low to be an atypical branch unless I move this completely, this here completely, and start over the apex, right? Which I'm not inclined at this stage to do. So what I will do, my friends, is I'm going to remove the younger branch from here, and I'm going to remove this from here. Yeah? My son. Hi, my puppy do.
Hey, you say the puppy because it's not that hot.
I'm shooting a video, puppy do. Okay? But it's getting dark soon. I can take you for a drive as soon as I finish. Okay? All right, no problem. As soon as I finish, okay? All right. So, where was I? My son just asked me to take him to the park. And it's going to get pretty dark very soon. So, yes, as I was saying, I'm going to remove this from here. Reducing the confusion, I'm going to remove this little branch from there, leaving it, bringing it down to 2. And where I am on this side now, as I said, I've made the decision to remove this fellow on the inside here, leaving this as the apex And as you know, I don't work with wire, although it would have been nice to kind of bring this a little more. I mean, I could drop a little touch of wire on it, but first, let me do what I set out to do. So, according to my friend Nigel, big cut coming up, and that is gone. Do I have to convince myself that I like it, or is it likable? I like it. I like it. I'm gonna clean this up. Now, what we have happening here now is that we have something like a star movement. So I'm gonna remove this branch from the back here. And we have this branch coming out on the side here. This coming up, this shooting out, which I think I'll remove. And I'm gonna shorten this to this point. That point. I'm gonna shorten that. So I have this fellow here, and this one here. Hopefully I get something out as I left this marker here, this leaf node. And as I said, I would have, because primarily, and I don't know why I didn't mention it, but today was a Evelyn day, because this is another piece of material that I got from Evelyn, and this material is over 20 years old. Right, so this is a pretty nice piece of material to have and to develop, add further development to it. Let me get a little smidgen of wire and see if I could add a little character to this branch. I've added just a little touch of wire here, just to bring that branch a little bit back, and I think that is it for the pruning. Let me go around, let me give you a little once over so that you could see. Hold on. All right, my friends, so this branch was a little long, I shortened it, and everything is basically sweeping out except for the apex, and I am looking at it in your view as well, because your view shows things that I may not see in my view. And here is the contemplation. So we're back to this point with these two branches here, one here and this one up here, and both of them, one will shade out the other. So it's either I remove this, opting for these, or I remove this and allow this, but this is going in a direction where it will eventually get shaded. So I'm going to remove this one, and I'm going to remove this branch here, creating a bit of space between. So as I said, I'm going to remove this here, and I'm going to remove this branch here, creating a bit of space. Even though I remove this, I still don't like this branch. Well, I don't like this branch at all. That looks a lot better. That looks a lot better. So there is that space that I created, which should serve well. I should create space here as well too. So I'm going to remove this shoot from here. And as I go around looking at it from your view, I am seeing things that can be removed. There are parallel branches here. There's this branch here. I'm going to leave this little one here and this one here. Whichever is the strongest, I will use. We have a double branching here. Well, it was a double branching. And I think that's it. So, as I said, my friends, the next thing is just to remove this cling wrap to see what is happening. So I'm removing the cling wrap, and as you could see, everything is looking pretty good. Everything is looking nice. So let me bring you all in closer for a look, and we can remove some of these shoots that are growing up in and underneath. But this is looking pretty good. It's coming along nicely and looking really nice. I like it, and I think that is going to make a really nice character driven planting in the future. Yeah, so that is it. That is it. So my friends, as usual, thank you so very much for your support. Thank you for those of you who have subscribed. Thank you for subscribing. You know, if you know anybody that would benefit from the things that I do, you know, share it. And like, comment. Love to read the comments. I love to answer the comments. So comment away. We swiftly moving along to the end of 2024. This is the last Sunday in 2024, and 2025 looks like it's going to be a very promising year. You know, it's going to be a good year. So on that note, be good to yourself, be good to others, treat people how you want to be treated, and always remember that our climate is our responsibility. Us, have an opportunity to change it for the better, if not for ourselves, for the future generation, our children and our children's children, and so forth and so forth. Yeah? So, on that note, I'm going to see you all soon. I had to tell you one more video before the year done. One more. Alright, my friends, take care. Bye.